What's going on, guys? It's Nick here, back with another fantasy football video. It's Friday, so you know what time it is. Another top 5 list. Before we hop into this one, quick update. The premium rankings, I believe, will be released July 15th. I'm not going to hold myself to July 15th, but mid-July is, I think, when we're going to release that. We're through like the top 40 to 45 running backs, and then the about 50 to 55 of the wide receivers, and that's the player write-up. So the notes on them, the injury risk, injury rating on them, the projection, we're going to be working on the top 10 flyers to take late, because remember, this is a flyer video. I did a flyer video on running backs, but it's only 5, and it's in June. And this list is going to be updated through July, through August, as ADPs change, as training camp news comes out, because remember, they're not even in training camp right now, so it's really difficult to gauge these players. I'm projecting 5 guys I really like right now, taking late in drafts that are going undrafted and stuff, but that things are going to change. Guys are going to go up in depth charts, ADPs are going to rise, so those things are going to change. So you really want updated versions of that, and I can't just like go back and update these videos as ADPs change. You look at the running back videos, some of those ADPs are already changing, and they're no longer late round values, and like I can't project exactly where someone's going to go, so I have to rely on what I have right now. Also with the premium rankings, you're getting access to the site. So you're getting, there are 3 in-season articles, because remember, we're likely not going to do videos like we did last summer, or last season. Last season we did like waiver wire claims, streaming options, trade targets. We're not doing that. We might have a podcast, not exactly sure on that, not sure how it's going to work, but this is the best way to get our advice. To be in the chat, remember there's about 100 spots left in the chat, and then you have to be a premium member to get in after that. But the best way is to read our waiver wire article, to read our trade target article, to read the, if you play DraftKings, I'm writing a DraftKings article, a DraftKings and FanDuel article every single week. I'm giving you a cash game lineup, I'm giving you tournament lineups, and you can just ask us straight up. We're opening a new chat for DraftKings. Ask us straight up who we're playing in our lineups, because I was killing it towards the end of last year. I mean, week 17 was easily my best week when I played all tournaments. I'm more of a cash game player. I like to be conservative, so if you're just building a small bankroll, definitely look at the cash game team, because I'm posting my exact cash game team. But check out the website, thefantasyfootballadvice.com. Link to that in the description below if you want to learn more about that. This video, top 5 wide receiver flyers. Again, that's different from breakout. You can watch the breakout video where those are guys I think that could be wide receiver 1s or high-end 2s that are not even being close to being drafted that way. But this is late round guys. The first 3 are undrafted. This is ESPN. Definitely being undrafted, but then for the actual ADPs that I use on this, it's Fantasy Football Calculator. But I looked in a bunch of sites, and these guys are going undrafted, the ones I say. The ones 1 and 2 are not being undrafted. I wanted to pick the first 3 undrafted and then kind of pick guys going in like the 12th and 13th, just to give you guys some different options, basically. Some guys you can pick in the 12th, some guys you can pick late. I just wanted to do that. So this first guy we're going to talk about, FUNCHESS, probably the least upside of all the guys. I don't think that he has wide receiver 1 capability, at least this season. Probably not even 2. But when he's going undrafted, you don't need that from your 14th round pick. So I have him 63rd. Could that change? Yeah. But he's going to be like around that area unless Benjamin gets hurt. I just think, I've said it all along, I don't think Benjamin's that good. No one believed me last year, and then he busted. It's just, he's not that good. But the issue is, they're not a high volume passing offense. They brought in McCaffrey, they brought in Samuel, and he's not the starter right now. Now, I think he can replace Benjamin. I'm not sure that he will, but I think he can. He's got an early breakout age. He's got an 82nd percentile college dominator, so he's done it before and he did it young. He's a good player. I really believe that he is at least the same caliber player as Calvin Benjamin. If he can take over, he can post Calvin Benjamin numbers. So if you're getting potential for Calvin Benjamin, which I don't think is a good pick for Calvin Benjamin, but if you're at least getting his production potential in the past, in the 14th round, I think that's great value. And it's not a guy that I think is a breakout, but as a late round flyer, a guy that could be a wide receiver 3, I think that that's exceptional value going this late. So good pick there. Number 4 offers more upside, and I hear Enunwa. That is all I hear. Where is the Robbie Anderson love? Hashtag team preseason. If you listen to Adam Levitan, it was Robbie Anderson and it was Lord Aldrich Robinson. Those are his guys that he just really liked. But even it wasn't even preseason. Like he was the preseason star last year, but end of the regular season, 7.8 targets per game over the final 5 weeks. He was second in air yards, only to J.J. Nelson. I don't remember the exact stat. I want to say it was like 16, but that might even be way off. I don't even remember. But that's per catch, obviously. And so here's my issue with Enunwa. First off, I don't think he's all that talented watching him play, but everyone's like, oh, well, Decker's gone. Okay, so like Decker was gone last year is the issue. Like, what is different from the end of last year? Nothing, right? Enunwa played on 83.6% of snaps last year. So if you're thinking that he's going to jump up to like 150% of the snaps, sure, yeah, he's gonna be a lot better, but that's not possible. So he's going to play roughly the same amount of snaps. And I don't think he takes that much of a leap. I don't think he's all that good. I think Robbie Anderson, this suspension's not going to happen this year. If his suspension happens, it's in the 2018 season. If you guys don't know, he like hit a cop or something. He was arrested, but his trial starts, I want to say, in September or October or something like that. And so the NFL always waits for these trials to be over. So any suspension that'll come down will be 2018. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about his effort. I mean, Brandon Marshall's come out and said, like, this guy is very inconsistent in the effort he puts in, but if he puts in the effort, he can be a great wide receiver. And on a team that's fighting for one win this year, I really believe that they are, honestly, they're fighting for no wins. I think they're tanking, but regardless, they're going to be trash, and they're going to be losing almost every single game. And junk points are the exact same amount of points as regular points. So I don't care if it's garbage time 5 points for Robbie Anderson each week. If he can get 4 points in regular time and 5 points in garbage time, I will take it. And when he's going undrafted, again, wide receiver 73 plus, with that kind of upside, I like it. I think he's super fast, 91st percentile speed score. Look at his 40 time. He got a 76th percentile burst score. I think he's a good wide receiver if he puts in the work. If he puts in the work, this guy can break out, and no one's talking about him. Everyone wants to jump on Enunwa. I am not jumping on Enunwa. I will be drafting Enunwa in 0 drafts, and I will be taking shots on Robbie Anderson. So, that's number 4. Number 3 is a guy that's near and dear to my heart, because I am a New England Patriots fan. I am the believer of 19-0 this year. It's Malcolm Mitchell. Hogan, listen, Hogan's good, but they drafted Mitchell, and they're trying to develop Mitchell, and I really think they want Mitchell to be the future. And if you want Mitchell to be the future, you got to use him. He needs to put on some weight. If you watched him last year, he does have some like freak injuries. I think that they're from not being like, for his size, he's just not as built as you'd want him to be to play that X receiver role. So I think he needs to put on some weight. I'll watch him in preseason, and I'll know if he put on weight, obviously, or not. But listen, 79th percentile speed score, 74th percentile burst score. He's going to play the one for the Patriots, in my opinion. He had 4 receptions, 51 yards, and 2/3 of a touchdown on average over the final 6 weeks, which is really when they were using him and when he wasn't hurt. He was hurt to start the year. Like, that's a season-long page, 67 receptions, 816 yards, a little over 10 touchdowns. Now, the touchdowns are fluky, but again, it's the New England Patriots. They're going to be in the red zone. And they were looking to him in the red zone. If you watch the games, they were targeting him in the red zone. Now, yes, the criticism for this pick is Gronk's back. Gillislee's a fantastic red zone option. They've got Cooks. They've got a ton of guys. But listen, I don't think they want Cooks to be the one. I think they want Cooks to maybe, it's going to be either Cooks or Edelman. I'll be interested to see if they keep Edelman in the slot or they move him out to like the number 2 role. But regardless, I think they want Mitchell to be the one, and then one of Cooks or Edelman to play that like 2-3, just to kind of have them switching in and out of that. But Edelman can't play the one. He's a slot guy. And I don't think Cooks can get the separation against number 1s, and I think they want him to just be a deep guy. So I think Mitchell is going to be that possession receiver. And if you're giving me the possession receiver in the Patriots, that's different than giving me possession receiver on other teams. I know. I realize that people have stunk it up as the number 1 on the Patriots, and they just feed Gronk. They just feed running backs. They just feed slot guys. They run the ball. They're going to run the ball more this year, I believe. Or at least more than they did towards the end of the year when Brady was playing. But I think this is a good pick. And again, I mean, he's going undrafted, I think, in 14-team leagues. If you're in a 14-team league, take a shot on Mitchell late. If you're in a 12-team league, take a shot on Mitchell late. You don't need to grab him in the 12th round. You can literally grab him in the last round. If you want, I always say defense kicker last 2 picks. If you want to take Mitchell in the 15th and then move up 1 round on your defense kicker, then go for it. I prefer taking guys in like the 12th and stuff, and for me, that might be a reach on Mitchell. But if you are someone who wants that upper level defense and kicker, maybe you're just not too aware of who the good defenses are and you just want to be sure, I don't advocate it. But if you want to do that, then go for it. I do think that Mitchell is a good pick late, which is why he makes this list as the last undrafted player. The next guy, number 2, we're getting into the guys who are being drafted on average, and that's Josh Doctson. I believe that his potential is being underweighted and his injury risk is being overrated. I think that, yes, he's probably the riskiest wide receiver pick late, but if he stays in this 12th round range, I don't see another player around him with more upside. Pryor and Crowder are clearly ahead of him right now, in my opinion. Right now, if the season started and everyone's healthy, it's Pryor at the 1, it's Crowder in the slot, and it's Doctson at the 2. The issue is the season doesn't start now, and B, the championship is not right now. Doctson has a chance to take over Pryor come championship time, and if you're going to give me Doctson, healthy, who's been compared to AJ Green talent-wise, playing for Kirk Cousins as a wide receiver 1, and I'm getting him in the 12th round, that's just potential I can't pass up. I've heard reports that he's looking great in their like individual drills and stuff. I've heard reports that he's on like the second team and everything. Listen, right now we're in OTAs. Come training camp, you can tell me these things. Don't tell me anything in OTAs. Nothing is trustworthy. If a guy looks like a beast in OTAs, that's fantastic. It's OTAs. Don't talk to me about that. When someone looks like a beast in the preseason, like 2 years ago, I was watching a Bucks game and Doug Martin looked phenomenal, so I drafted him in every single league 2 years ago. You can watch preseason and get a good indication of how a player looks. So that's what I'm waiting for Doctson. But right now, I can't pass up this 12th round value. I cannot do it. It's just, he is a super talent. It's just we haven't seen it yet. I mean, he's essentially a rookie this year. He had 2 catches last year because he's always hurt. And it's a 12th round pick. You can drop him. It doesn't matter. So don't be afraid to take shots in the 12th round instead of being like, oh, I'll take this guy who's probably going to get like 700 yards and 3 touchdowns. And I'll get 4 points when I plug him into my flex. Like, no. You don't need to be thinking about it like that. Pick up Doctson. If he gets hurt again, drop him. Because I guarantee you, the studies show that I've done, 50% of your team's going to be dropped anyways. And to be honest, it's a lot higher than you really realize. A lot of times you're dropping your 3rd and your 5th round picks. So don't be afraid to drop your 12th round pick. And I think that the upside that he has with, I mean, like, people are also saying, oh, well, he's going to be the 3. Listen, they only ran 2 wide sets on 14% of plays. 83% of the time they are running 3 wide sets. And do you even want Doctson out there more than 83% of the time? With his injury risk, do you really want him out there on 100% of plays? No. So I am perfectly fine if they put Doctson on the bench sometime in 2 wide out sets just so he doesn't get hurt. Because the 12th round, the upside that he has, it's unmatched. And I think he can produce right away. Is he going to start for you? No. I do not advocate starting him unless we hear great reports in training camp, which could happen. But unless we hear great reports in training camp, I don't see myself starting him in week 1, but you don't have to. I mean, he's going as your like 5th wide receiver. So I think he's a great pick, especially going this late. But the number 1 late round flyer guy I think is honestly being disrespected is Kenny Britt. Like, what more do you want from the man? He played for Jared Goff last year, the Rams, the team that didn't score points. They had like an insane amount of 3-play drives, and all he did was post 68 receptions for over 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns. Like, what did they score? 6 touchdowns last year? I mean, it's pathetic. It was so bad. Like, what more do you want from him? He could not do any better. Now he's going to the Browns, which, I mean, you got to feel bad for the guy. He went from the Titans to the Rams to the Browns. But, hey, honestly, it's an upgrade because he went from last. So there's only looking up for him. And You want to look at it from another perspective. The Browns, have they improved? Yes. But are they going to be a 500 team? No. All you Brown truthers out there, they're not going to be a 500 team. They're still going to lose a lot of games. So he's the clear-cut one in my opinion. I think he's ahead of Corey Coleman. And Corey Coleman's been an injury risk. I mean, he's been hurt a lot in his career. If Coleman goes down, who is backing him up? It's going to be the Kenny Britt show. I know they drafted the tight end, but it's a rookie tight end. Remember, you never, ever, 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 ever draft a rookie tight end in your leagues, unless you're in a dynasty league. I don't know why I keep getting messages. I've posted multiple videos already talking about that. But for you to actually think that Njoku is going to get a ton of targets and a ton of yards, I don't know what you're thinking. They're going to Britt. And if Coleman's out, his upside's huge. But even if Coleman plays, they're going to have to throw a lot. I know they want to run the ball. I know they have a great O-line, but they're going to be losing games. You cannot run the ball when you're losing by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Remember what I said with the previous players? With Robbie Anderson? If you're going to give me garbage point, if you're going to give me 40 garbage yards a week, then I will take it. Because garbage time is worth the exact same amount in fantasy. One caveat to this pick that I do need to mention. If they announce that they are not like cutting Brock Osweiler, and if Brock Osweiler is starting, I will not be drafting, honestly, probably anyone on the Browns. Maybe I still draft Crowell, but you got to convince me, and I'm dropping him a lot in the rankings. If anyone else, if Kessler's the starter, if anyone else is the starter, I'm still on the Britt train. I'm still on the Crowell train. I think the Crowell train's getting a little too packed for me. I think the hype's getting up there into like the early 3rd round, which is a little too, I don't know, that's a little much for me. I prefer him more middle to late 3rd round. But if he ever gets in the 2nd round, no, that's a no for me. But if Brock Osweiler is the starting quarterback, I'm probably not drafting a Browns player. Because remember, I said Brock Osweiler is legitimately probably the worst quarterback in the league. And I just can't take players on his team. But that is the end of this video. Thank you for watching. On the screen, you can watch one of 2 previous videos that we have done in the past. If you watched this far, hit that like button. Subscribe if you are new. If you did not like the video, hit that dislike button and tell me why in the comment section below. But that is the end of this one, and thanks for watching.